every week with her hard riding. Straight shooting. And suspense.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Say, excuse me, but I never saw a war club like that before.
It ain't a war club. It's a rabbit stick.
A rabbit stick?
Yeah. Us Hopi Indians use it to hunt rabbits.
Gosh, if you're a Hopi, you're awful far from home, aren't you?
Well, I'm only half Hopi. My pa was as white as you. And I ain't got no home. Neither with the Indians nor with your folks.
Gosh, I'm awful sorry, mister.
Nobody ever calls me mister. I'm just Hopi Bill. Come down here, kid. I'll show you how we use this. You see that yucca tree? Now, if that was a rabbit.
Gosh, you sure can throw that.
Saves bullets if you want rabbit stew for supper.
Stay here, Pixie.
And if you miss, it comes right back to you.
Oh, now.
Watch, but get ready to duck.
It's coming back, all right. Gee, that's a boomerang, like they have in Australia.
I don't know about Australia. Well, I better be wrestling me some grub.
And I better be getting home. So long.
So long.
Gotta get him a little breather. We won't have to baby him so much when we get the new team to spell him.
You look tired, Mr. Leeds. Why don't you sit inside? I'll drive.
Oh, thanks, Desert Fox. I feel all right. Say, how come you never call me Pop Leeds like all the others do?
Some white men would think I don't know my place as an Indian.
Well, I'm not some white man. You know, you've been like a son to me for a long time. Stuck by me when I could hardly pay wages. I think if anybody got a right to call me Pop, it's you.
Okay, if you say so, Pop.
Well, I do. I think they're arrested. What do you say? Let's go. All right, get up. Here she comes.
Drop that gun, Injun. Reach, mister. Move over there. Throw down that mail pouch. We'll split up and meet at the shack.
Pop leads stage. In trouble. Yeah.
I'm okay, Lofty. But Pop.
Come on.
Pop, let me help you.
It's a holdup, Annie. Pop.
Is that Desert Fox?
Yes.
I'm not going to make it.
What is it you want, Pop?
I'm willing my stage line to Desert Fox. Franchise and all.
But Pop.
That's my will.
Moccasin.
If you're lying to me,
Happened just like I told you, boss. Some Injun must have stole it. The mail's all there.
well, it better be. That letter I'm looking for ain't here. Now, this saves your neck, Brick.
The Army's going to open a new cavalry post at Purple Butte.
It says so, don't it?
Yeah.
And with all the traveling and hauling, that broken-down stage line will be worth a fortune. And nobody knows about it but us.
You going to try for the franchise?
Try. I'm going to get it.
How'd you know about this in advance?
It's part of my business to know stuff other people don't.
And that's what Pop wanted. That's the reason Lofty and I called this little meeting, so y'all would know what it was all about.
But I warn you, if an Indian operates the stage, it's going to ruin what little business there was at Purple Butte.
As a business broker, I've got to agree with Banker Sykes.
Oh, Desert Fox is incompetent. He rides gun guard with Pop, Pop gets killed, and we lose the mail pouch.
That could happen to anybody. But regardless of what you think, Desert Fox owns the line, and there isn't much you can do about it.
Well, now there's one thing I can do. The bank was going to extend credit to Pop for that spare team he needed. Well, that credit is canceled as of now.
Isn't the stage franchise coming up for renewal in a couple of days?
Yes, it is. And I'll back anybody that wants to try for it.
Well, for the good of the town, I'll see what I can do.
We'll find something.
Annie, maybe I shouldn't even try to qualify for the new franchise again.
You've got to, Desert Fox. It's your one chance to do something big for your people. To prove that an Indian can do a job as well as a white man.
That's right.
I know, but with no money and nobody to help me.
Hoopy Bill!
Howdy, son.
Gosh, what are you doing in town?
Just passing by.
Gosh. Come on inside. I want you to meet my sister.
All right.
Annie? This is Hoopy Bill, the one I was telling you about.
I was listening outside. Sounds like there might be a job for a fellow, especially if he's half Indian.
There might be.
It's certainly worth talking about.
Quiero hablar contigo, pero solo.
Si, como no. Sure. You can talk to Desert Fox alone. Everything's up to him. Come on, Tag.
We'll stand by to help you all we can.
Thank you, Lofty. Thank you, Annie.
I always been a loner, figuring I don't belong on either side. But from what's happening here, I feel different.
Different? How?
I see an Indian get a chance like I never heard of before. So now, I want to track with the Indian side of me.
I can't even pay wages right now.
I don't want pay.
I can't even qualify for the new franchise without a spare team.
I got some money. Living the way I do, I don't spend much. How much do you need?
$400, but I couldn't guarantee to pay it back.
I won't miss it. All I want is to see an Indian make good on a chance like this.
Bill, I'll take you up at that. I'll make you a partner.
I don't need that.
Well, as long as we live, you're my brother, Hook.
And you are my brother.
There's no time to lose, though. Miller might try to get the horses Pop had a deal for. They're the best around here.
Where are they?
The Triangle Dot Ranch out north of town. Look, I'll go to the bank, buy a draft so we won't lose any cash if anything goes wrong. Meanwhile, you hightail it out to the ranch.
It worked out even easier than I thought it would.
Somebody's coming.
That's the banker. Act natural, you got nothing to worry about. I'm glad you came, Sykes. Meet Brick Mason and Roscoe Barnes. They're the fellas that are going to run the stage line for me.
Now, before getting into it any further, Miller, you ought to know that the Indian's going to fight for the franchise. He's raised money for fresh horses.
From home.
Some other Indian on his way to get them right now.
Yeah? Well, we might stop that.
How?
There's ways.
Well, you understand I'm opposed to violence.
Well, I'm opposed to it, too, but we got to think of the good of the whole town.
Well, of course. That's that's the whole point.
Let's rouse up some of the folks in town and head for the Triangle Dot.
Do you hear anything unusual, Oakley?
What's there to hear? Town's as quiet as a grave.
That's what I mean by unusual.
There's a bunch of men riding out to the North Road.
The North Road?
Yeah, Miller and some others.
No reason I can think of.
Lefty Miller might be trying to keep Desert Fox from getting those horses.
Let's find out.
Tag, you stay here.
Oh, gosh.
Horse thieves to me. Maybe we'd better mask up.
Well, I don't want to look like no outlaw.
You don't want to be recognized, do you?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Let's go.
Take off those masks.
Gee, Annie, we was after horse thieves.
I know what you were after, and you ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Now go and round up those horses.
We're gonna teach you this town ain't no place for horse thieves.
You ain't working for the town. You robbed the mail pouch.
Mail pouch. Moccasins. You must be the guy with this stick. Okay, let's get the horses. We got someplace to go. Get a move on.
on, Desert Fox. Let's go back and see what this is all about.
All right.
These men decided to take the law into their own hands, Annie.
And nobody likes horse thieves.
Where'd you get the idea the horses were stolen?
Word spread around town. You know how rumors start.
Desert Fox paid for those horses. Let's get them back to town.
Thanks, Annie. See anything of Hopi Bill?
No. Let's go back and see if we can find him.
Penny, you're going to have to stop associating with these thieving Indians. Lofty, I'm charging that man with highway robbery.
What robbery?
Well, this telegram came from the bank at Purple Butte. They were transferring $2,000 to my bank, and the money the Indian had was stolen from the mail pouch.
How do you know?
Why, the bank has the serial numbers listed right there on the wire. And these 4 bills that Desert Fox gave me are part of the series.
But Pop and I were robbed by 3 white men.
Oh, that's a cock and bull story. The Indians framed it up.
Well, I don't know the answer, Desert Fox, but Hopi Bill didn't come back to town last night, and that is stolen money.
Well, I'm not leaving here till I see him locked up.
The way things stand, Desert Fox, we don't have any choice.
But Hopi Bill could clear this up if we could find him.
We could check the road where Tag first met him. He may have a camp around there somewhere.
Yes, but there's no sense in starting now. It'll be dark before long. But the first thing in the morning...
Well, we as good as got the franchise, Brick. I've got my stage and horses lined up.
Good. We got something here you ought to check into, too. Pete, bring him in.
Hopi Bill.
Yeah, it was him who plugged me with this and slipped the mail pouch.
Well, then he's still got the best part of $2,000.
How come you're so sure of getting the lion and me having that money, Miller?
Your pal, Desert Fox, is in jail for passing stolen bills you gave him, that's why.
He had nothing to do with stealing it.
Now, what's the difference? He's in jail. Now, where's the rest?
I got it hid. Let me have a drink of water, and maybe we can talk a deal.
What's your idea of a deal?
I'm ready to take the blame. Go down and give myself up. But I won't tell you where the money is until Desert Fox is out of jail.
No deal. And you ain't getting out of here till you talk. Throw him back in there. If he don't get thirsty enough to talk tonight, give him water tomorrow morning on these straps. Soak 'em real good.
I got you.
You two come on now.
You make anything of these tracks, Annie?
No, but they're fresh.
Yeah?
Let's split up and see which way these trails go.
Are you ready to talk, Injun? I've been staked out in the sun tied with wet leather before. Hell. Well, tell me about it. How does it feel when the sun shrinks the leather and it slowly cuts into your muscles, huh? It hurts. But not enough to make me talk. Oh, we'll see. Come on. Annie, I know what happened. The money was stolen, but Desert Fox didn't know it. He don't deserve to lose the line on account of what I did.
Where'd you get the money?
These fellows stole it, Miller's men. I took it off them.
Did you hear that, Lofty?
Enough of it.
You get the whole story and I'll ride down and see if I can save the franchise for Desert Fox.
Certainly lucky we found out about those Indians in time. But, you better get started, Miller.
Oh, there's no hurry. All I have to do is make the run and we got the franchise.
Help me hook up drive Desert Fox to stage in a hurry. I'll tell you about it while we harness.
All right.
Behind us. Annie Oakley with the other stage. Well, get going. I don't know what's up, but we gotta make it first. Yeah! There, go there.
Bill, I'm going to trust you. Trust me? Deliver yourself and Miss Ranahan at the jail.
I'll be plumb happy to go to jail as long as you get this bunch.
You're in charge.
Come on, boy. Let's go.
You think you won the franchise for that thieving Indian?
No, she won it from a thieving white man. You're under arrest.
What?
I got a confession and the whole story from Hopi Bill.
You dirty...
Hold it. You're just in time, Sheriff. We've got a couple of customers for you.
But why did Miller go through all that trouble?
Found this letter in his pocket.
An army post at Purple Butte.
That explains everything. Boy, I want you to accept my apology. I acted on a blind prejudice that I'm ashamed of.
It's all right, Mr. Sykes. I just want this chance to prove what I can do with the help of my partner.
A fine partner. Doing time in prison.
But you won't be gone for long, will he, Annie?
No, of course not, Tag. You know, I don't think Mr. Sykes is the only one that's learned a lesson.
Yes, sirree. I figured stealing money from an outlaw wasn't stealing. But, well, looks like stealing is stealing.
And when you do come back, I bet I can throw this rabbit stick just as well as you. I've been practicing. See that tree across the street? Gosh, guess I missed.
Look out!
Marsh, these things are dangerous.
Terry, and the Annie Oakley Show was very popular, as you can see by all the merchandising around me. So get ready for another episode of Annie Oakley, brought to you free by westernsontheweb.com.
Bullseye! Annie Oakley hits the entertainment bullseye every week with her hard riding, shooting, and suspense.
Sometimes the sheriff's niece has to follow the trail of killers. They're dangerous men, and a girl has to be prepared for anything, but there's some varmints that are harder to track, and even a bigger problem, such as my brother Tag. Well?
Hi, Annie.
Don't hi-ya Annie me, young man. I've been chasing you for the past 2 miles. Now hand over that report card.
Aw, Sis.
Come on, Tag, hand it over. Where's Pixie?
Back there, in the bushes.
Well, you better get him. Uncle Luke's gonna have something to say about this.
Pretty bad, isn't it, Sis? The report card, I mean.
Yes, Tag, it was. The worst part of it was you're trying to hide it.
I thought if nobody saw it, everything'd be okay.
Oh, Tag, that's bad thinking. 2 wrongs don't make a right. They never have, and they never will.
I reckon I didn't think of it that way.
I reckon you didn't. You know, I remember someone else who didn't think of it that way one time. And they just about started a full-scale war in Diablo.
Gee, when was that?
Oh, about 2 summers ago, Tag. The year you and Uncle Luke were away on a hunting trip. I had ridden out of town to look for Lofty, who was supposed to be at the office attending to business. But I had a pretty good idea where you'd be. And when I reached Canyon Lake, I found I'd guessed right. Lofty was having such a good time while I did all the work that I decided I'd teach him a lesson.
Annie!
Leave all the work for me, will you?
Oh, Annie, have a heart, will you? Look, I'm sorry. Gonna get my clothes, huh?
Okay, Lofty. Well, that certainly took you long enough. I thought it was supposed to be women that were the slow ones.
But you'd have trouble dressing, too, if somebody'd been taking pot shots at you.
Sounds like somebody else is in trouble.
Yeah, it sure does.
No, don't bother about me. Howard's been shot. He's back there on the road.
Howard Bishop?
Yes. We've got to get back there right away.
Take it easy, Howard. Mr. Kenyon will be here with a carriage in a minute, and we'll get you to a doctor.
It's too late for a doctor. Annie, I want you to do something for me.
Yes, Howard.
My daughter, Priscilla, she's in college in the East. Send for her.
Daughter? But where? How do I get in touch with her?
The information is in my will. I left her everything.
Oh, please, Howard, save your strength.
Take care of her, Annie. She'll need your help. She... Can't believe it.
What happened, Mr. Kenyon?
Well, we were on our way into town to a stockholders meeting. A shot came from up there. Howard was hit and started to fall. I made a grab for him and lost the lines. And the team bolted and I lost control.
Don't worry, Annie. I'll make all the arrangements about the funeral. You know, it's only thanks to you that someone isn't arranging for mine. They'll probably be sorry to hear about that.
They?
The lowland farmers.
You think they're responsible for Howard's death?
Well, I know they are. Jesse Clemens and his farmer friends threatened to use force to stop our hydraulic plans at the Yellow Rock mine.
I hope you're wrong, Mr. Kenyon. I know the farmers are worried about their land being flooded, but I can't believe Jesse's a killer.
Howard's dead, Annie. Somebody killed him or had him killed.
You mean just because he has controlling stock in the mine?
Exactly. Howard's death stops a vote on the hydraulic issue until we can settle his estate and distribute his mine stock.
Well, then he didn't tell you about his daughter either.
Daughter? What do you mean?
Well, before Howard died, he told me about a girl back east.
I never knew that Howard had married. I assumed he had no heirs.
And the people in the town don't know either. Whoever killed Howard's sure in for a surprise, because the decision about using water at the mine is in Priscilla Bishop's hands now. I sent the telegram tag. And 3 weeks later, quite a crowd was gathered to greet Priscilla Bishop. Everyone was guessing what she'd be like. But to look at Lofty that day, a person would have thought Jenny Lind herself was coming in on the stage.
Why, Lofty, I really declare.
In that getup, you look almost like a gentleman.
All right, go ahead and kid. But it isn't every day a young gal comes to Diablo. You know, come to think of it, after the stage comes in, you just might not rule the beauty roost around here anymore. Priscilla's a mighty pretty name.
Here she comes!
Whoa!
Well, you don't mean to say that all you folks came to welcome plain little me. I'm so thrilled.
Miss Bishop, I'm Annie Oakley. Welcome to Diablo.
Well, thank you, honey. The pleasure's all mine. But, oh, what's that you call me?
Miss Bishop. You are Priscilla Bishop, aren't you? The new owner of the Yellow Rock Mine?
Boy, are you confused, dearie. My name's Florence. I came to work at the saloon. But, of course, if you have a mine lying around with no owner...
I'm Priscilla Bishop, Miss Oakley.
Gloria B., an Indian.
Wow! I've been mistaken for a lot of things, but never an Indian.
I'm sorry, Miss Bishop.
I know. You weren't expecting an Indian. I'm Howard Bishop's adopted daughter.
We just weren't expecting anybody so pretty, miss.
This is Lofty Craig.
My pleasure, Miss Bishop.
Priscilla, please.
And Russell Kenyon.
How do you do?
Oh, Mr. Kenyon. Howard mentioned you in his letters. You're a large stockholder in the mine, aren't you?
The largest next to you, Priscilla. I've been looking forward to your arrival.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Get Priscilla's bags, Lofty, and I'll drive her out to her new ranch.
Huh? Oh, yeah, sure, Annie.
You better leave those bags right where they are, Deputy.
What are you talking about, Frank? Why, you work at the mine? This Bishop's your new boss.
That's just it, Mr. Kenyon. The way I figured, a lot of boys ain't gonna like it working for a redskin.
Why, you...
Now listen, Frank, and the rest of you. If there's anybody that doesn't like it, they can start looking for a new job.
A redskin's got no business being a boss over a white man.
One more word, mister, and you won't worry about mining gold. You'll be digging for your teeth.
You think so?
This gentleman coat didn't fit none too well anyway, Annie.
I'm sorry if I've caused trouble.
Oh, that's no trouble, miss. It's a real pleasure to stop talk like that.
Come on, Priscilla. I'll take you on out to your ranch. Lofty, tie a target to the back of the carriage, will you?
Sure, Annie.
I'm sorry about the little mix-up, Priscilla. Those miners are a hot-headed lot. Sometimes they take a little time to get used to things. But you'll find out. They're on your side.
I hope so.
Wouldn't have to be no sides, Kenyon, if you people would give up that fool idea for getting your gold out faster than normal.
You got your nerve, Clemens. Keep your comments to yourself.
Please, Jesse, there have been enough differences for one day. Miss Bishop needs a rest. She's traveled a long way.
I reckon she does need a rest, Annie. She's got a big decision to make for such a little girl.
She won't be intimidated by you or your lowland farmer friends. Priscilla owns the controlling stock in the Yellow Rock mine now. You can bet she'll make the right decision.
I hope she does, Kenyon. I hope she does.
What's he talking about, Mr. Kenyon? What is this big decision I have to make?
It's nothing to be disturbed about, Priscilla. It's simply a matter of business. Howard made the decision before he was killed. I'm sure you'll want to carry out his plans.
Then you think that man, Jesse Clemens, killed Howard? That's Russell Kenyon's idea. I don't think Jesse'd kill anyone. But it does seem to make sense. If the farmers are so frightened of being flooded out. Well, what are facts and what makes sense aren't always true, Priscilla. The truth is sometimes hard to find. You know, no one in town even knew that Howard had a daughter.
Keeping it a secret was my idea, not his. My parents were killed when I was 3 by white renegades. He took me in, adopted me, raised me as a daughter. When he settled here in Diablo, he sent me east to school.
You mean you haven't seen him in all these years?
Oh, yes. He'd come east to visit when he could.
Well, I guess I'd better get back to town and let you get acquainted with your new home.
Well, I'll be in the mining office tomorrow. I'll probably see you then.
All right, Priscilla.
Oh, Annie, is that you? Come on in. What do you want?
Just a word, miss. My name's Jesse Clemens.
Yes, I know.
What I'm going to say won't take much talking, but I want you to listen good to every word.
Are you trying to threaten me?
No, miss, I sure ain't. I just want to tell you some plain facts about what'll happen if you go ahead with hydraulic mining.
I've been told about that. The drainage water will inundate the lowland farms. Is that what you mean?
Them's fancy words, miss. But you sure heard right. It'll flood every one of us farmers out, and we don't aim to let that happen.
Even if it means another killing? And this time just an Indian?
Look, miss, I ain't one to be worrying over skin color, but I'll fight any force, white or red, that threatens to destroy my land.
Have you finished?
No, there's just one more thing you ought to get straight.
Yes?
I didn't kill Howard Bishop. Good day to you, miss.
It's very simple. Either we use water methods or we let the men go and close the mine down entirely. We just can't get enough tonnage out by hand anymore.
I realize that.
Well, it seems to me that you'd want to respect Howard's wishes. After all, he was doing it for your people.
My people?
Well, yes, yes. Howard intended to devote all the profits from the Yellow Rock mine to the Indian tribes in this area. Provide food, shelter, opportunity. All the things that the white men took away in the wars. You know how strongly Howard felt on this matter. Seems apparent after all he did for you.
The farmers, Mr. Kenyon. Their lands and their homes.
Anyone think of the Indians' lands or their homes?
No, I'm afraid not.
It's your chance to make up for it by helping them just as Howard planned.
Please, Mr. Kenyon, let me have a few more days to think it out.
Certainly. But remember, Priscilla, you can't run a business on sentiment. Someone is bound to suffer. However, you will let me know your decision as soon as possible.
Of course.
Well, did it work, Kenyon?
Yeah, she says she'll have to have a few more days to think it over.
Priscilla! Where you heading? To try and think things out, Annie. I'm afraid college didn't prepare me for making a decision that has to hurt someone. The farmers on one side and the miners on the other. I just don't know what to do.
I'm sure you'll make the right decision, Priscilla. Just give yourself plenty of time.
I'm going to.
I'd sure hate to be in her shoes.
So would I. No matter what she decides, there's going to be trouble.
Gosh, Priscilla was really in the middle, wasn't she, Annie?
She sure was, Tag. And she spent a lot of days trying to make up her mind. Naturally, she wanted to carry out Howard's plans about helping the Indians. And everything that Russell Kenyon had told her kept going over and over in her mind. Finally, she decided he was right. Someone had to be hurt. And this time, it wasn't going to be her people. Then you've made up your mind you're going ahead with the hydraulic plans.
Yes, Annie, I am. I know there's going to be trouble, but I'm afraid that's the way it'll be.
Priscilla, will you come with me for a few hours? There are a lot of things I'd like to show you that might make a difference.
All right, Annie. Just for you, and I'm not going to change my mind.
Oh, maybe you won't, but at least give me a chance. I showed Priscilla acres and acres of farmland stretched out over the valley. And looking down, she could see the vast areas. We rode through the land that the farmers had spent their lives cultivating, and talked with the men who had transformed a once barren desert into productive soil. The women, too, told us their feelings and how dreams for themselves and their children became reality with the growth of the valley. By the time we got back to the Bishop Ranch, Priscilla had changed a lot of her ideas about the lowland farmers. But it wasn't until then that I found out the one thing that still kept her from changing her mind. She told me what Kenyon had said about Indian conditions and what Howard Bishop planned to do with the mine's profits. Then you're doing this because you think it'll help your own people.
Yes. I have a chance to help the Indians. No one else is doing it.
That's where you're wrong, Priscilla. The U.S. government realizes what a great injustice has been done, and they're doing everything that they can to help them. With money, land, medical care, and food, they're doing much more than you could ever hope to do.
But Mr. Kenyon said that
He told you wrong. Everything that I've said can be proved. You can check with the Indian agents or even the tribes themselves.
I don't know, Annie. Why should he
He lied. Why, I don't know, but well, I intend to find out. Think it over, Priscilla. And remember, 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Oh, hi, Priscilla. Morning, Annie.
You're in town early.
Too early, I guess. Mr. Kenyon isn't in the office yet.
Oh, here, sit down.
Thank you. I came to tell him my decision. You were right, Annie. I realize that now. 2 wrongs don't make a right. I've decided not to use hydraulics, even if it means closing down Yellow Rock.
You'll gain a lot of friends by your decision, Priscilla.
Mr. Kenyon will be upset, though, but as he said, someone has to be hurt. And it'll be a lot easier for the miners to find new jobs than for the farmers to clear new land and build new homes.
Mail came in, Annie. Oh, hi, Priscilla. Hey, there's a letter here for you. I was going to run it out to the ranch.
What is it, Priscilla?
It's a letter from Howard that must have reached school after I left. They sent it back here. It was mailed the day before he was killed. Dear Priscilla, hope you're well. We are very busy here. The survey proved... I don't understand this.
What's wrong, Priscilla?
Here, Annie, read it.
The survey proved conclusively that hydraulic mining would flood the lowlands. So I've decided against it. The mine can continue to operate, though the profit would be much lower. I expect some opposition at the stockholders' meeting tomorrow, especially from Russell Kenyon, whom I've already told of my decision.
Kenyon was lying about everything.
Money is a motivation for murder for some people, Priscilla. And Howard was the only person standing in his way.
You mean Kenyon killed my father?
Had him killed, yes.
I'll bring him in, Annie.
No, wait a minute, Lofty. This letter proves him a liar, but it doesn't prove him a killer.
Proves it to me.
I know, but you're not the jury. No, we've got to find a way to get more proof. I think I know a way that we can make Kenyon show his hand. But we'll need your help, Priscilla, and it'll be dangerous.
I'll do anything, Annie.
Lofty, see if Kenyon's in his office yet.
No, it's still closed up.
Good. Sit down, Priscilla, and write what I tell you. Mr. Russell Kenyon, have reached my decision. Will meet you at the ranch. Signed, Priscilla Bishop.
She's there like the note says, Kenyon. You sure you're going to need me again this time?
Only if she doesn't decide our way. If she does, you won't get this signal.
I still think it's a wrong move pulling the same stunt you did to get Howard Bishop.
You're paid to shoot, not to think.
All right. You're the one that's got to talk your way out of it, not me.
Come in, Mr. Kenyon.
Thanks, Priscilla. I'm sorry I'm a little late. I had a little business to attend to in town. Your note said that you'd reached a decision.
Yes, that's right.
And?
And I've decided not to use hydraulics.
And you're going to let your people down in spite of Howard's wishes.
I'm afraid that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah, so be it. Tell me, have you notified anyone else of your decision?
No, no one. Why do you ask?
Well, it's only that I think that we ought to let the other stockholders know first.
Oh, that's only fair.
Then we'll ride into town if you care to.
Might as well get it over with.
Yes, we might as well.
Oh, I'll ride with you if you don't mind. I can pick up my horse when we get back.
All right.
There goes our hired killer, Annie. Right according to plan.
Right into Ambush Canyon, too. All set up by Russell Kenyon. You got the reins this time, Kenyon. No sense taking a chance on another runaway, was there?
What do you mean? Well, what was all the shooting about, Annie?
That was just your plan going wrong. We've got your hired killer.
Hired killer? I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what we're talking about. Take a look.
I've never seen that man before in my life.
Save your breath, Kenyon. Your boy here talked. Said you hired him to kill Howard Bishop. You're all through.
You can't prove it.
I think you better get on the ground, Kenyon. You're less trouble down there.
Actually, he didn't say a word, Kenyon. He's too full of water. Your plan worked real fine, Annie.
Thanks to Priscilla.
I'll have to admit I was a little nervous.
Let's get back, Lofty, and tell the people the mine's going to operate as usual, without the water that'll ruin the lowland farm.
Yeah. I think some of the folks are going to want to come around and apologize to their new neighbor. Keep him covered, Annie. I'll get the horses.
Gosh, Annie, that was quite a story. Now I see what you mean about two wrongs not making a right.
That's why I told it to you, Tag. But I've still got to show your report card to Uncle Luke. Hey, Tag, did you see what I did with that card?
Sure, you put it in your pocket.
Yeah, but it's gone.
Yeah, it fell out way back in the road. I was so interested in your story, I plumb forgot to tell you about it.
Forgot? Why, you little Kyle.
Annie Oakley. Hope to see you on down the trail, and come see us again on westernsontheweb.com.